What's going on, everybody? So today I want to ask the age-old question when it comes to less than lethal launchers. What's the probability of these things actually stopping an attacker? I don't know. To be honest with you guys, I don't know. I've never actually had to use a less than lethal launcher in that situation. I've never had to stop an attacker or an intruder with a less than lethal. Um, so I don't know. But I know who does: AI. Rather than me taking a lot of time and pulling all this information and putting it on a nice notepad or spreadsheet and presenting it to you guys, I took the easy route and I just asked AI a really specific question. What is the probability of stopping an attacker using 7.1 gram aluminum balls and a less than lethal launcher that produces about 40 joules, right? I don't want to just highlight the X68 because there's the Grimberg brand that also produces 40 plus joules and can do that job. And I definitely don't want to sell short the S2 from Salt Supply Company and any other launcher that is reliable and good as well. There's many different launchers, but I asked this specific question because I have the X68 and I have the Grimberg Carry on order that's going to be producing about 40 plus joules. And I will probably be using a mixture of these 7.1 gram aluminum balls in my magazines, along with probably specific chemical rounds in my magazine when it comes to the time and or God forbid the need of my launcher, right? I hope I never actually have to have a need or the time pop up where I actually have to draw it on an actual person. But that's what my situation is going to be. I'm going to be using either my X68 in conjunction with my gavel. And on top of that, my backup's going to be obviously my firearm. But first and foremost, hopefully I can stop an attacker with these less than lethal options first. So, what is the probability of stopping an attacker using a 7.1 gram aluminum ball and a launcher that is producing about 40 to 50 joules? When I asked the AI, it said it had four key factors when it came to stopping power and less than lethal launchers. The first one, which it rated as critical, was shot placement, which was obvious to me, right? Obviously, if you shoot certain parts of the body, you're going to have a better response in comparison to maybe shooting hands or appendages or limbs at extremities. If you shoot at the head, it said that you're going to have the highest probability of stopping somebody. It's going to give you about 50 to 90% chance of stopping them with just one shot. If you shoot somebody in the head with a 7.1 gram aluminum ball and 40 to 50 joules, you're going to probably have a high chance of stopping them with just one shot. A chest shot is a moderate probability. It's going to give you about 30 to 70%. Again, guys, this is all just one shot. And then, of course, if you shoot the limbs or extremities, you're going to drastically lower that chance to about 10 to 30%. The attacker type was number two. If you're unarmed and you're just a regular civilian, you have a 40 to 80% chance with just one shot of stopping their pursuit of doing you bodily harm and or entering your home. If they're drugged or intoxicated, it really plays a key factor, guys. Usually, when people are drugged up, they're not going to respond in typical fashion. They might not even be feeling the impact of the projectile, right? So it drops it to about 10 to 40%. So situation awareness is key. Knowing if somebody is more than just mad, more than just driven to, possess your possessions or obtain your possessions by breaking into your house and or do you bodily harm. If they are intoxicated or drugged up, you have to be aware of that, and you have to be aware that they will probably not respond like normal. So it drops it down to 10 to 40% with just one shot. An aggressive, experienced fighter, somebody that might have been in the situation or prepared for being in the situation. Also, it drops your chance of stopping them to about 20 to 50%. I will kind of say this is nuanced because also an experienced or aggressive or prepared person will also probably weigh their options in their head more than somebody that's just angry. They're not anger driven, right? They're not intoxicated either. They're actually in their right mind. They're actually just experienced. So if you shoot them more than once, it's probably definitely going to raise the bar, or the probability of you stopping them. But just one shot, if you just use one shot, it's saying that it drops it down to about 20 to 50% chance of stopping them. An armored attacker, somebody with a melee weapon, knife, uh, um, a stick, a metal pole, something, anything, can still be dangerous even if shot, but with one round, it drops it down to 30 to 60%. The third key factor that it took into account was the number of shots fired. Now, of course, if I shoot you in the head more than once, you're probably not going to be awake. If I shoot you in the chest more than once with a 7.1 aluminum ball at 40 to 50 joules, again, you're probably going to be gasping for, I'm probably breaking ribs or breaking bones, or, God forbid, if I shoot you over the heart, it might even stop your heart, to be honest with you. So the number of shots definitely increases your chance at stopping an attacker. It says a single shot gives you about 20 to 50% chance. And this is taking into account all of those attacker types, right? Um, so it gives you 20 to 50% stop rate. A multiple shot, 2 to 3 rounds, it's saying it bumps it up to 50 to 80% chance of stopping an attacker. And it's taking all of those attacker types into account. So again, plug them. Shoot until they stop, right? That's what they say even in firearm training. You don't stop until that threat is neutralized. Um, Headshots with multiple shots, again, it bumps that up to 80 to 95%. So again, like I was saying, the statistics are there, guys. Like it's all about shot placement, really. If they don't react in turn, raise the aim, right? Like put it there, put it on target. The fourth key thing that it took into account was pain tolerance and the psychological effect uh, of the attacker. Some people will flee after being shot. It's really like statistically, most people will respond with that fight or flight, reaction that most of us have in any case. Most people that are, out there in the world will just flee. They'll hear it, they'll feel it, and they'll be like, I got to get out of there. The other half might not. So again, it's saying 50%, which is really good, to be honest with you. 50-50 is not bad, especially when you're talking about statistics and averages and numbers and stuff like that, right? Some attackers will just ignore the pain. If they're driven, it's saying 30 to 40%. So again, guys, you got to take that into account, right? I know that's kind of a big range, but it's just averages, it's numbers, right? Um, it did go on, AI did go on to saying the probability estimated based on scenario kind of gives you a little bit better idea of things. If you single shot head shot somebody, it's saying 50 to 90%. Again, multiple shots is 80 to 95%. A chest shot, single shot is 30 to 70%. Multiple shots is giving you about 60 to 90% chance of stopping somebody. Arm and leg shots definitely drops it down. I don't see why you would even waste your time shooting legs and arms. But hey, sometimes that's what you hit, right? It's saying a single shot is giving you about 10 to 30% chance of stopping somebody. And then multiple shots, again, it's telling you about 40 to 70% chance of stopping somebody. Somebody that's drugged up, again, really drops it down. Single shot, 10 to 40% chance. Multiple shots does bump it up a little bit, but it's still saying 30 to 60% chance. Armed with a knife, single shot, 30 to 60% chance. Multiple shots, 50 to 80. Again, if they don't respond, keep pulling that trigger. Keep pulling that trigger until they do, right? And then get the hell out of there, especially if they're armed. If they have a knife, a weapon of themselves, get out of there. Don't like, I don't know why people linger in those scenarios. I always suggest to people these things and anything, right, are a tool for you to get the hell out of there. You don't want to stay. Anybody that's been in any kind of self-defense profession or anybody that's trained will tell you the longer you stay in a conflict, the lower and lower your chances are of getting out of there unscathed. So like it's like gambling, right? The longer you stay in a casino, the higher the probability is of you being wrecked. So same thing, get out of there. Um, Moving on to your worst case scenario, somebody that's armed with a gun, if you shoot one round and they also have a gun, you have a 10 to 30% chance of stopping them or deterring them from pulling their gun out and ending you. Like, you don't want to get in a gunfight with somebody when you have a less than lethal launcher. Again, these are tools for you, in my humble opinion, to get the hell out of Dodge. Go. Get out of there. And if you do find out they actually do have a gun and all you have is less than lethal, You keep firing and you keep firing while you're getting the hell out of there. Get as far out of that situation as possible because you do not want to stay and linger. Even with multiple shots, AI is telling me that if you are shooting somebody with multiple shots with a launcher versus them being armed with a gun, you have a 20 to 50% chance of them stopping. And only probably because they might be confused and not knowing that you don't actually have a firearm. Once they realize that you have a less than lethal and you're shooting at a distance, it's it's not good news. Again, you probably already know that, but just to reiterate to you guys. Now, best case scenario, you're shooting somebody that's just an average Joe, somebody that's just an average civilian, no armor, no experience, no nothing. A single shot, it's saying you have a 40 to 80% chance of stopping them. Multiple shots, it increases all the way to 70 to 90%. So the conclusion of this, single shots to the limbs or body have low, moderate chance of stopping an attacker. A headshot has a high probability, 50 to 90% of stopping somebody. Multiple shots significantly increase the stopping power in any situation, and pain tolerance, drugs, and aggression can reduce the effectiveness regardless of how much joules these things are putting out there. Even if it doesn't immediately stop the attacker, it could cause enough injury, distraction to allow escape. That's what I say to everybody all the time. You want to get the hell out of the situation. Don't linger. It's all about not lingering, folks. This is a tool for you to get to safety, to call for reinforcements, and get the hell out of Dodge. But nonetheless, I thought it was a really fun and interesting topic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have anything you guys want to say, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know how you guys feel. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Till next time, peace.